Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are joined by footballer George Glendon. George, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you, pal. Yourself?
I'm very good, mate. How's lockdown treating you?
It's quite strange. I don't think anyone expected it, but hopefully we're getting near to the end of it now, so not too long now.
So, as being a footballer, obviously playing football is your job, the dream job. And as a child, obviously, if you ask a lot of kids when they're younger, what do you want to be? A footballer. Did you always love football growing up?
Yeah, I loved it from right from the start. Really, my dad was a manager. He played himself, but he went into managing. So my family's always been football. My mum and sister used to come and watch me everywhere, so they always know football. So yeah, it's a big football family.
Absolutely. So was your dad, obviously, as a player and a manager, was he kind of the inspiration, and did he kind of help you out, kind of learning the game?
Yeah, definitely. He's given me the best advice probably out of all the coaches and players that I've been with in the whole game. So he's had that with me since early. So no, he's been one of my biggest inspirations in the game.
So obviously, as a Manchester City boyhood fan, growing up, um, obviously you started there at a young age. How did Man City approach you? Was you playing Sunday League and was the scouts there? How did that move to Manchester City happen?
I played for my local team called Chelan Gatley, and I went to a tournament at JJB in Chester Centre. It was a Sunday tournament and played there. And after the tournament, the scout approached my mum and dad, and that was it really. Went from there and went up through all the ages.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic club to go to, Manchester City, a big club, and the training facilities. And what was it like growing up there? Like, as a young boy, obviously, you're going to school and you're playing for Manchester City in the evenings at training. I bet that was like really rewarding.
Yeah, definitely. All my mates were jealous of me in a way because you're playing for one of your local teams. But no, it was as a City fan as well. It was a dream come true. So I took it for granted really growing up because I was just playing for my boyhood club. But you don't realise now when you look back on it how much I actually did and how special it was at the time.
Well, obviously, we see a lot of footballers kind of grow through the academies and not eventually always turn out to be footballers. And I was listening to Jay Spearing, and he was saying about how he loved going at Liverpool, but his education was important. Did your mum and dad as well drive that into you, that education as well is important, is as important as football?
Yeah, definitely. You've got to have I think a lot of footballers now are realising you've got to have a plan B. So you've got to have your head switched on at education, not just football, because not a lot of people actually make it into the game when you're at scholarship level. So education is equally as important as football.
So, obviously, doing the education and doing the football, those two things, you've always got a plan B. If football doesn't always work out, you can go to like a university or a college. But was football kind of always on your mind at school? Like, oh, I can't wait to finish and go to training with the lads and just improve on my game, really.
Yeah, football was the only thing I thought about really. So I never thought about going to college or uni. None of that interested me. So my head was just screwed on with football. But I think that's what it is with a lot of the lads now. But more and more lads are thinking plan B really, because like I said, not everyone makes it in your team scholarship level. So you've got to have a plan.
So as a young age, obviously it's really, really easy to kind of grow through those ages, but you start to see when you do get that to the teenage years, the quality uppens and you have to improve as well. Did you notice a difference each year you were at City in the level that they were bringing in?
Yeah, right at the start, the level was really local lads, local English lads. But then as you went through the ages, City got a bit more money and more foreign lads started coming in. So level when I was about under 18s and the 23s was really high.
Yeah, that's fantastic, to be fair, because City were known as kind of they obviously lower down in the leagues, and then they had that owner come in, and the money pumped into Manchester City has been amazing. The transformation has been absolutely phenomenal, and I bet you to grow up in that and to carry on still being there in those special times. Obviously, you've captained City's youth academy. I bet that was amazing. Obviously, growing up since the age of 5, 6 years old, being at your boyhood club, it's a dream playing football. Not only that, carrying on and playing, and then playing for your youth team. Not only that, being captain and being a leader. I bet that was amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I was so happy and excited when I was named captain of the 23s. Because before that, I was always quite small growing up, so the bigger boys were always picked up instead of me. So to be finally given what I think I deserved, it was massive for me.
I bet, and you see, it does kind of frustrate me how you see academies now. They go, you're too small, and there's a lot of players in, especially Championship League One, that are small, but they have a lot of talent. You look at Jay Spear, and you look yourself, very good at midfielder. Alex Cairns again, who's not the biggest of goalkeepers, but probably one of the best, or if not the best, in League One. However, growing up, obviously they do look for those kind of attributes. Was that kind of like a feel-good factor that even though I'm not the tallest and I can prove people wrong with my skill and on the ball, I bet you thought I can prove them wrong with that side of my game?
Yeah, definitely. I was never like I said, biggest, strongest. I was a late developer, but I was probably the best technical there. I had other skills that probably the bigger players didn't have. But yeah, like you said, you look at Fleetwood, there was small players there like me. There was Morley. Morley was one of the fans' favourites. So it's just about timing really. And like I said, late developers always have to wait the longest, but they always seem to work out better.
They do. You're spot on there. And then carrying on that, being on the bench for a Manchester City Champions League game, I bet that was absolutely proud moment for you.
Yeah, I didn't expect it really, but I got got called up to the office, and straight away as they told me, I rang my family, and it was all happened very quickly really. But no, that was probably one of my proudest achievements.
Who was the game actually against in the Champions League?
The game was against Bayern Munich.
Again, a huge club, and
yeah, so it was the one where we were 2-0 down, and Aguero scored a hat trick.
I bet
it was great.
Just to even like be close to those like amazing players. You look at David Silva. I know you look up to David Silva a lot, don't you? The way he can play. Again, another small player, but he's a magician, isn't he, David Silva?
Yeah, he's probably one of the best players to play in the Prem.
Yeah, I agree.
Never mind City's. It's probably City's best ever player, but if you're going on Prem terms, he's everyone says the best things about him. So no, he's definitely everyone's fans' favourite.
So being at Manchester City, then like later 16, 17, 18, like it's a good way of growing up and good way of kind of modelling yourself in the game. Obviously, City set high standards. You've got to be professional. You've got to want to work hard. You've got to do the right things and be an athlete. I bet that's really kind of helped you in your development as a young footballer.
Yeah, definitely. You have to fully focus and dedicate yourself to it all. Really, sacrifice a lot of things to get where you want to be. So, I think 99% of footballers do it, and the ones who don't, you see them suddenly falling away from the game. So, you have to give everything you can in football.
So we do see like loads of really good like academy players who are young and at Everton, at Manchester City, Man United, etc. And they are obviously not always going to get into Manchester City's first team and have an impact. When did you start to realise maybe I need to go out and play men's football and see how I can test myself?
I think I was about, like I said, because I was a late developer. I think when I got to the age of 19, 20, I wanted to go out, but City wouldn't let me go out at the time. And it was only until Fleetwood were interested that I came to Fleetwood and really got the men's football that I needed. But I wish I did that a year earlier, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, I think can't complain really with what happened at Fleetwood. I think we had a great team there, and I think it was the perfect team for me to go into. And like we said, we got to the playoffs in the first season, so it was class.
So going on to Fleetwood, obviously the team I support, and I loved watching you at Fleetwood. I thought the way you were on the ball, I thought you were absolutely fantastic. So how did you hear about the move to Fleetwood? Because obviously at the time, Uwe Rosler was the manager, and he was like a Manchester City legend. So was that kind of the connection that Uwe had strong ties with City, and they thought, oh, good player would suit the Fleetwood system? Was that kind of like the route into Fleetwood?
Yeah, it was. At the time as well, Greta was there, and he really liked me. So I think it was a bit of both. But Uwe knows that I came from a great background, and I think he knew he's obviously watched me play at City, so I think he knew what he was going to get. And just about timing. With, like I said, I came to Fleetwood in August, but I didn't actually start till Carlisle away in October. So I had to take my time again, like I did pretty much my whole career. But since October to the end of the season and the following season, I think we had a great. We should have got to the playoff finals in that year at least. We had a great squad, but it just wasn't meant to be.
It was a shame. However, going back onto your debut at Carlisle, it was kind of like the Checker Trade Trophy. However, you didn't actually. I remember it was being there, Port Vale away, and it was kind of like a weird game where I thought we played well, and I think it was Jimmy Ryan who went down, and Jimmy then was, in my opinion, one of the best midfielders in League One. The way he could travel with the ball, he was so important to the way we played, and we thought, oh no. And then George Glendon, obviously kind of inexperienced then, comes on and you fitted straight in. Obviously, coming off a bench, it's hard to get up with the speed, but you came on early. How was that when not prepared? Was that better for you, that you didn't have time to build yourself up, or were you just like, get me straight in it, I'm ready?
Yeah, like I said, I think the Carlisle game was on the Tuesday, and I played really well in that. And it was on the Wednesday, I think, and Uwe pulled me on the Thursday or Friday and said, I'm going to put you on the bench this Saturday. You've earned your chance, so just wanted to tell you and make you happy. So I knew I was going to be on the bench for the game, but he said he didn't tell me he was going to bring me on or anything. So when Jimmy went down, it was, like you said, it happened very quickly, and I think that's what helped me out to have the game that I had. But the players were, we had players like Conor McLaughlin, Morley, Devante, everyone just helped me into it really well. Like Pondy, I was roommates with Pondy at Fleetwood, so he's one of my good friends from football.
And Pondy as well, legend of obviously the game, but not only that, he's a leader and he's a player that you need. And same with Ash Easton for me. Like, again, good on the ball, good head of the ball, and there's those type of players to kind of get you in. And did you always feel relaxed at Fleetwood when you came in?
Yeah, I think at Fleetwood it was a great mix of experienced players, and then we had young players like me, Devante, Amari, Kyle, Longy was there that season. So I think we had a great mix of a bit of both really. And obviously Kernsey coming in at the same time as I did. So I think we had a great mix of both sides, and I think that's why we had a really good season.
Absolutely. So when you do join a new club, because this was the first time you were away from Manchester City, did it feel strange leaving Manchester City coming to Fleetwood?
Yeah, because City was all I known since under fives really. So going to a brand new club and people was quite a massive change really. So, but at the same time, it was the right thing to do, and it was probably the best thing to do at the time. So it was 50-50 really. But yeah, it was definitely strange, and I did miss it for the first 6 months. But after that, you just, it's like life. You just have to get on with it, don't you?
So joining Fleetwood again, going back onto that, obviously when players normally join the club, they normally kind of sing us like a song. Did you have to get up and in front of the lads and sing a karaoke song?
Yeah, I had to do two actually, because I only came on loan, didn't I, for the 6 months, and then when I signed permanent, I had to they made me do another one. So no, I sung "Ain't No Mountain High Enough"
tune.
But funny enough, I've sung at Carlisle and I've sung at Chester, so that's my go-to song, really.
Is it? So, out of all the lads who came into Fleetwood, who would you say would be the best at the introduction song? And was there some poor ones in there?
Oh God, I'm trying to think who was good in that. Ben Davis did a good slow one, I remember.
Good player.
Trying to think who was bad. You know, off the top of my head, I can't think, but I do remember Ben Davis. His was good.
Do those kind of things kind of like help you settle in at a new club as well? Kind of just like a laugh and a banter, and it kind of can just take the like the stress off joining a new club, really.
Yeah, it's a horrible way to do it, but like I said, once you've done it, if you can sing a song in front of a group of lads, and you pretty much can do anything on the pitch really, or get into the team. So it is definitely nerve wracking, but you know, you just have to do it, and it's just one of them things really.
Class. And then after that Port Vale game, you do quite well in midfield. Unfortunately, we don't get the result in the end, lose 2-1. But however, after that, you come into the side more with the absence of Jimmy, 18-game unbeaten run. So I bet that was an absolute amazing feeling to come into the side and go on a run like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I was knocking on Rosler's door because I felt like I deserved a chance. So, you know, when I took it and then we went on that big 18-game run, you know, it's a nice feeling because it's like you proved a few people wrong, really. But no, like I said, I think, you know, we just mentioned Ben Davis, and he's another young player that we had at that time. So if you look at our team that season, you know, we only just missed out on automatic, didn't we? So I think we definitely should have gone up, even so gone to the playoff final.
So going into that formation, we've kind of played like a back three with a midfield three and the wing back 3-5-2. As in that, I was talking to Cairns and he said how the midfield kind of suited each other. Obviously, for me, I think you're really good going forward and really good defensively. We had some good midfielders. Did you like playing in that three? Obviously, we had Victor Nirinold. We had a great range of central midfielders that year.
Yeah, I think me and Carl knew how each other played. You know, I'd like to get on the ball and make the team play, whereas Kyle can, you know, he can get about the pitch and he uses drives with the ball forward. So I think me and him got on really well. But like I said, you know, we had some great midfielders there. You know, it was a shame Jimmy was injured for the time that he was, because I know Rosa really wanted to play him and Kyle together. You know, and I think that's if us three played together, we're doing a good midfield. And but no, I think we had a great, like I said, like I keep saying, we had a great team that season. So everyone just knew how each other played.
However, like you say, unfortunately, Jimmy did get injured, and it's never nice seeing a good player getting injured or any player getting injured. But in a way, if Jimmy might not have got injured, you might have not had that chance, and things might have not happened as it is. So sometimes you think everything happens maybe for a reason. So going on to in that 18-game run, I remember kind of stuff like Charlton away, we scored late. Coventry away, we scored late. Southend at home, again, a late equaliser by ball. Was the mentality just like, if we concede, get the ball out the net, we go again. There's time left. We fight till the end, and we're not going to let them come to our ground and take points off us. Was that the mentality that we had that season?
Are you there, pal? Sorry, it's just gone.
Sorry, mate. 1 minute. So everyone does have to come to an end, George, and it did against Bolton. Again, against a promotion rival, we lost 4-2. Again, how did that game kind of feel? Did it feel a bit deflated after being unbeaten for near enough 4 months?
Yeah, I think that game did just take everything out of us. You know, if we would have won that or even drawn it, we would have had the momentum going into the last remaining games. So I think that game was a big turning point, really.
Yeah, you could kind of see it on the pitch. Kind of, we weren't kind of losing, were we? We were drawing, we're drawing like 0-0. Obviously, Wimbledon at home, Bury and Oldham, Bury away, and we lost at kind of Oldham and Swindon, and then got the result back at Oxford. And that result at Oxford, it was massive to kind of get that belief back. Did you start to kind of think, right, we can go again now?
Yeah, definitely. I think when we won that, you know, we were still in the playoffs at the time, and we just thought, you know what, there is a real chance there. We stick together again. We've been on an 18-game run, so why can't we, you know, go on a little run again? So no, definitely, I think, you know, it was a it's a very hard season, that league. I think Sheffield United won it, didn't they?
Absolutely did.
And we beat them away. So, you know, it was a crazy season. But, like I said, I think we had a very good season.
How did Uwe, obviously at the time, did a fantastic job that season. How did he keep you and the lads going and just to not get carried away?
I think we all knew we couldn't get carried away. I think, I'm trying to put the words, I think we knew we had a chance of going up, but at the time, you know, I don't think anyone thought we'd go on that 18-game run. So, you know, when you do that and you're beating teams and you're going undefeated, you feel like you can beat anyone really. So, you know, and when we stayed in the playoffs, you know, and we'd lose a game, we wouldn't go out of it. So we always had that confidence really. So I think he kept us all in line, but I think it was a bit of both as well.
Absolutely. So we finished the season. That Gillingham game, absolutely mental. That Kyle Dempsey, how we found it to even get from one end of the pitch to another and then finish it. And then 2-1 down, the belief there again. That taking it to the last day, that was one of the craziest games I've ever watched as a Fleetwood fan. What was your view on it?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was that's probably summed up the season for us. You know, we'd either go out and dominate teams, or we'd fall behind and have to come back, or we'd stick in the game till the end of the game and get a last-minute winner. So that was basically all our season in one game. So again, that gave us a great buzz in the change room, and it was a class game to be involved in. And you know, Kyle didn't really. I think that was his second goal all season, really. So you know, he's
against Bolton.
I know, yeah. So it's good time for him to score. So no, it was a great buzz.
I bet, and obviously we end up in the playoffs due to Bolton winning their final game out of our hands. That one, Bradford in the playoffs. What were your thoughts? Were you kind of thinking, let's get into this? We've known our quality. We beat them at home in 2-1. Obviously we lost away, but that was before the run. We just kind of thinking, let's go and attack them and see what we can do.
Yeah, I think we were quite comfortable in the playoffs. I think we could, you know, take on anyone. I think we knew that if we got Millwall in the final, you know, on a big pitch at Wembley, I think we would have outplayed them. I think we would have gone on to get promoted really if it was us and them in the final. So it was disappointing not to get there, but you know, it just wasn't meant to be against Bradford. And you know, even the second game at home, I thought, you know, we should have really took it to them and gone after them at home, because I think, you know, they would have crumbled.
Yeah. Were you all gutted after it, kind of thinking that was a chance?
Yeah, it was kind of the same feeling after the Bolton game. Just, you know, we've done all that hard work all season, and then within 2 games it's all gone. There's no reward at the end of the season. But you know, I think we were Fleetwood's highest ever position at the time. Yeah, so that was the achievement we took from it. But no, the lads were devastated. But you know, like I say, it's just what happens.
So obviously pre-season comes about and you have to bounce back. Obviously, you've just had a fantastic season. After that season, obviously, you've learned the good times in a football club and you've learned the heartbreak of the playoffs. I bet that really prepared you for proper men's football after only pretty much 6-7 months in proper football, really.
Yeah, I learned in the 6-7 months at Fleetwood that I learned more than I ever did at City, really. So just shows you how important it is to young players and young pros. And you know, if anyone who I speak to, I always say, try and get yourself out on loan as long as it's the right team, obviously, in the right club. But try and get yourself on loan as soon as you can.
Absolutely. Then the next season, it doesn't go quite as planned. We start off really well. We win the first 3 games. And what, in your opinion, kind of changed in that second season? Obviously, from having a really good season to the club kind of being in a relegation battle. It was like a switch of emotions, really. What kind of change, in your opinion?
I don't know. Morley left. He was a big leader and on and off the change room. You know, he was experienced, but he helped the young lads out massively. So, you know, when Morley left, it was kind of a massive hole in the change room, really. I felt like anyway. So he was a big factor, but I don't know. It happens in football. You know, you see Fylde, they got to the playoff final, and then look at them this season. They might have got relegated if whatever happens now. But just happens in football, and it was a shame really, because I felt even the second year we still had a decent enough squad to compete in that league.
I agree. And then I didn't think we were. I thought we were quite on hit and miss up until kind of Christmas mid-table. And then boom, the run comes, 6 straight defeats. During those, what was it? What was the team morale like? Because you've seen how good it was last year to see. Because when you're winning, you want to train every day, you want to play every day, and your legs feel. When you're losing, it's kind of like your legs feel heavy, your brains don't want to work. And how was that mentality in the changing room?
Yeah, it was a bit, because when you lose games, players who are not playing will go knocking on the gaffer's door and that's why I'm not playing. And then the same team is getting picked, then there's a bit of thingy, going on. So no, I think it was just a frustrating season for everyone involved in Fleetwood. Considering the great season we had the season before, I think there was a lot of expectations from not just fans but players, staff, and every team in the league really. So I just think it was a disappointing season all around.
I agree with you. Then obviously you've only ever worked at one coach under Fleetwood, Uwe was there. Then the time comes, he obviously Manchester City legend, so you look up for him. He does get the sack kind of stuff, which it was a shame. I was gutted, but you kind of think something maybe needed to change. How was you and the lads feeling after that? Were you a bit gutted?
Yeah, very good, because we had a great relationship with him. I just think it was, it's just one of them things where things are not going well. The manager always seems to get changed. So I was sad to see him go, because he's given me my debut, and he's given me a lot in football, and I still speak to him today. So it was sad to see him go, but like I said, that happens in football. And at the time, maybe Fleetwood just needed someone to come in and just give the players a bit of a boost, and that's what Sheridan did and kept us up.
How was that? How was obviously Sheridan coming in? His man management's good. Obviously, we spoke to Cairns and he said he was never too high, never too low, and said kind of just like, you're a great group of players. We played against you before, and you should know where be in this mess. Did he kind of go, right, relax, heads up, we go again, and we just kind of like amazing. We're on a roll here.
Yeah, I think really anyone could have come in and just done got the players up for it and got the players smiles back on their faces, and told him that there was a big challenge ahead, but to get a buzz around the club again, I think anyone could have come in and done that. But the way Sheridan did it was really good, and obviously you can tell, because on the field there was a much more better atmosphere really to try and keep Fleetwood up.
Absolutely, and we do stay up. It was the end. It was a good end to a bad season, and obviously that was a season your time at Fleetwood come to an end. Was it sad to kind of leave the club after obviously pretty much 2 years there?
Yeah, I thought I was going to stay on. Conversations I had with people like Greta and higher up, I thought I was staying on for the year, so it was sad to leave. But it was just both me and the club were going in different directions, so I had to leave and find another club.
And then obviously you do find another club. Was it Carlisle next after Fleetwood? How was your time at Carlisle?
It was a bit of a disappointed season personally, because I think might have rushed into the move too soon, and it's a long way away, Carlisle. It's about 2.5 hours from my house, so I wasn't staying up there. I was travelling most days, so it just wasn't really a productive season in my eyes. But I went there because Sheridan went there, and I had him at Fleetwood, so I thought it was going to be one of the best seasons for me.
Absolutely. Then doesn't Sheridan go halfway through the season at Carlisle?
Yeah, he left around Christmas time, and Presley came back in, who obviously was at Fleetwood. So there's a lot of connections really going in.
How's it like working under Presley?
I liked Presley. I thought Stephen was really, really good. He said I was his kind of player, but again, at the time he didn't want to play the same football he did at Fleetwood at Carlisle. So he was up and honest with me and said I wasn't going to get many games with him with the style he wanted to play. So that's all you want from a manager really. So no, but I really liked him. The players liked him, and you can tell why a lot of players in the game respect him.
Obviously, you did come out and say, obviously, you nearly kind of quit football after Carlisle, and to come and go again. What was it kind of like being in that kind of situation? Obviously, it's really good to come out and talk about how you feel, and how was that?
Yeah, it was tough because, like I said, I was travelling every day to Carlisle, so my head wasn't really fully in it. Even though it was a big club and that, but I don't know. Maybe I should have stayed local or fully moved up there to get the most of it out. Get the most out of it. Sorry, but like I said, you just got to enjoy your football, and that's what I've done now at Chester. And when you're enjoying your football, you can show it massively on the pitch.
That's one thing I've noticed. And at Chester, obviously, you've been really good. Obviously, you've got a couple of goals in your name. But if people don't obviously watch you week in and week out, they don't know what you don't kind of see. But when you watch you see how good you are with the ball, how you can drive forward with the ball. And working under, obviously, Antony and Bernard, obviously, two managers that I really like, and they've got promotions on the CV and the winners. I bet that's kind of your mentality, being at Man City, who's only used to winning right now, staying with them too.
Yeah, definitely. Me and the two gaffers share a lot of the same traits, really, in terms of winning and wanting to play football. They're probably, I love playing for Rosler, and he was massive for me, but these two are probably the best managers I've played for, giving me good confidence and freedom to play. And like you said, they just want to win. So, if you're winning, everyone's loving it, aren't they? So it's a great place to be at.
Absolutely, and you can just see how they kind of get into a club. And obviously the style is kind of like ruthless, but if it works, and it's like it can get a reaction out of you. And are you that type of player that kind of sometimes needs that kind of kick to go again, or are you more like an arm around the shoulder? Because they do seem to be great man management.
Yeah, a bit of both, really. I just want a manager or managers who will let you have, express yourself on the pitch, and don't. I like managers who are not too bothered about you making mistakes, as long as you don't make them too often. And this is what Bernard and Jono do, really. They know how my game works and how they can get the best out of me, and that's what they allow me to do.
It's brilliant, and obviously had a great season there at Chester this season. Obviously been flying higher. Then what's kind of been the crack since obviously the season's come to a halt? What do you think is going to happen with your league?
To be honest with you, pal, I don't really know. I think if it's gone on for this long now, I really can't see the playoffs happening. But I'm hoping, now we know what's happening with League One, League Two, and your Fleetwood's playoffs are going ahead. I'm hoping it filters down and ours will be allowed to be played.
Absolutely, and hopefully, what do you kind of want to do with you? Do you want to carry on playing football and just developing and hope to play at the highest level possible?
Yeah, you never know what happens now in football. And now you're back in. Now I'm back and enjoying it. It's you never know how high you're going to travel up. You've seen players do it, so just enjoying what I can at the moment, and just see what happens with Chester, and if we get promoted this season, next season, and go on from there.
Going quickly on back to that, how did your enjoyment of football kind of get back in? Kind of what was it that kind of gone, right, let's just not stress about it? Because we've seen a lot of footballers kind of come out recently and said, I like maybe had to quit football. Look at Billy Key, brilliant football, and he said how he just needed to kind of take a step down and just relax from it. Because it's a very hot-headed game, and it can be really quite stressful, really.
Yeah, it's I think a lot of players are like that now, and I think sometimes a lot of players travel all over the place just to find a club, but the club could just be around the corner where they can just settle down, live the family life, and like I said before, if you're enjoying your football, it shows on the pitch and everyone can see it. So it's the main thing, really.
Yeah, you're spot on. And going back on to obviously when you were trying to find a club, you had trials at obviously Bury, didn't you? And unfortunately, what's happened to them? I bet that's sad for you. Kind of, obviously training there, nearly joined them. What was that kind of like?
Yeah, it was strange. Just 2 days before it got announced, the manager said he was going to offer me a contract. So I was buzzing to be back in League One, really. But obviously 2 days later that happens, and it's like another what do you call it, thingy in the way. So you just had to get on with it, though. But no, it's a shame what happened to Perry, because the fans didn't deserve any of it, and it's it's people like the chairman who are not chairman, sorry, the owner who are ruining the game.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And obviously, I was speaking to a lot of my mates who are both Fleetwood fans, and one thing that he said he misses about you are your corners. And obviously, you have that technical. How much work do you put into those kind of set pieces on the training ground?
We always did train set pieces on a Friday before a game, and it's just something that Bolger is one of the tallest lads in the league, so if you allow him to run onto you and you put the balls in the right area, he's going to get. You put 4 in one game, he's going to get a goal out of one of them. So something we did work on, and look how well it happened.
So far then, George, young player, still got a lot left in the game. What's your aspirations? And obviously a promotion with Chester, maybe?
Yeah, I really hope so. Hopefully, depending on what happens with the playoffs this year, if we're still in the same league next year, I think we should definitely be competing for the title. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. But yeah, hopefully playoff with Chester would be nice.
Absolutely, and you can see the quality you've got, and adapting to a new level this year, was it difficult?
Yeah, it was, but I was playing in some games where I came up against a few players who have played in the league, so I think the standard's getting a lot higher than what everyone thinks it actually is. So it's a lot harder than what everyone thinks it is. Everyone thinks it's just non-league, but it's a lot harder, and it's there's a lot of good players in there now.
So just quickly as a final question, what is the big difference obviously between League One and the National League? Is it like kind of less time on the ball in the higher leagues?
Yeah, maybe there's more football played in League One. There's a few teams in League One who like to play football, don't they? So, obviously pitches is a big thing to allow you to play the football. So I think that's probably the main factor, but there's a lot of similarities in both leagues, really.
Well, George, thank you for joining me. George Glendon, fantastic football, and hopefully you can win that promotion with Chester this year, and Fleetwood can get a promotion as well. Thank you, George.
Yeah, I hope so. No worries.
Thank you.